12:30 on a Friday afternoon, which means it must be time for P2P Live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. My name is Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And that was my phone ringing. That is very unprofessional, isn't it? So we got a jam-packed broadcast this afternoon, but clearly it's live because my phone's ringing. And so if you've got any comments on any of the topics that we're talking about this afternoon, then please pop them in the comments. We can see them live and we can answer your questions straight away. We've got our regular numbers where we'll be looking at the real wage expectations on the budget updates that were announced this week by the Treasurer. And of course, in light of the inflation numbers that we've had recently, well, I thought we'd also explore a little bit around consumer confidence and take a quick look at the US growth rates as well. We have 3 jobs that we need to fill today. So we have 3 jobs across Australia that if you're looking for work today, you can jump onto those. We have a quick video on from our legal team here in Sydney because there's plenty of work happening in that particular team. And we'll also be discussing retention, because in a hot market for talent like now, retaining your staff is very important. And Vinnie from our Melbourne team wrote a blog about this a couple of months ago, and we thought we'd get her on to explore that, given that it's such an important topic right now. So a lot to talk about. Let's get into the numbers. So this week saw the release of the inflation data, and also the Treasurer announced the forecasts or reforecasts of the expected change in real wages over the next period of time. So I actually pulled this particular graph from, I think it's Greg Jericho and his Twitter feed, and we will pop that into the comments there. There we go. We've got the Twitter feed there, and just jump onto his feed because some really interesting stuff there. So looking at this, you can see that the predicted return of real wages. So the real way, how do we get back to pre-pandemic levels of real wages? And so what trend lines could we use to see that? So the predicted trend, that's the teal color, the color that the P2P color there, says that we'll be returning, and this is from the budget forecast, we'll be returning to pre-pandemic levels around 2028. If we use the trend after the mining boom, we're talking about 2029, but more recently, the real wage growth that we experienced post-GFC would see us only get back to the same levels of real wages that we had pre-pandemic in 2036. Just absorb that for a second. 2036. Now, forecasting is a mug's game. Who really knows? But I think this whole issue of real wages and where they're going to land, it's going to be something that we'll all be talking about in the jobs and employment market over the next couple of years. Let's move to the next graph. Thanks, Jacob. And this is consumer confidence. There's no label on it. But Trading Economics is where I've got it from, and it's actually the Westpac Consumer Confidence Index. And the reason I wanted to bring this up and show this to you is that we are at a very low ebb in consumer confidence at the moment. Now, we're not seeing it in the retail sales. They came out yesterday, and they seem to be holding up. But from an employment and jobs perspective, this sort of level of consumer confidence really does affect the hesitancy of candidates to enter the market. So if you're looking to hire talent, you're probably experiencing a situation where it's hard to find people. And when there's this level of candidate hesitancy, candidates are not willing to take risks to go to new jobs. And so that's where this graph will really emphasizes that the fact that, well, if low consumer confidence, I don't want to take a risk right now. It also means that it may mean that employers may back off in the coming months in terms of the level of people or the numbers of people that they're looking to hire. So I thought that it's a real lead indicator for for jobs in the market, but also it affects people hiring staff in terms of the hesitancy of candidates. The last graph I wanted to show you just really quickly, which is the real GDP number from the preceding quarter in the US. And some people argue that if the US catches cold, then we get pneumonia. Well, at the moment, they've just had 2 quarters of negative economic growth. So if they actually have one of the few places on the planet that have a particular agency that announces whether there's a recession or not, and they haven't actually done that. But if you're in Australia, 2 quarters of negative economic growth would suggest that you are in recession. What does that mean for the Australian market? Well, we need to keep looking at that closely over the next little while. Right now, though, the jobs market is hot in Australia. So there's plenty of work out there. So let's move on then. And with all that work out there, we've got 3 jobs that we need to fill today. It's Fill Job Friday. If you need to start work on Monday, you can start work in the Docklands in Victoria as a recruitment specialist. This is paying $37 to $40 an hour. Will Hillgrove is the man that's recruiting this position in our Melbourne team. Full-time role, working Monday to Friday until the 9th of September, and it's starting ASAP. If you're interested, the jobs are listed in the comments. So just check down below and you can hit apply right now. You'll be responsible for managing the end-to-end recruitment process, including screening applicants and the like, but you need to have strong communication skills and work in a fast-paced environment. $37 to $40 in Docklands, Victoria. Here's the next one. You can start work on Monday in Macquarie Park here in Sydney as a HR Administrator Talent Coordinator. It's a 6-month project starting ASAP. So you'll be assisting, again, with recruitment administration, liaising with candidates, etc. You've got to have solid admin for this particular role. Brooke Mackay is the consultant here in Sydney you need to speak to, 82709780. The link to this role is in the comments. Here's the last one for today. Start work on Monday in Parramatta as a facilities and building manager. So you'll be support this business nationally. You've got to have at least 7 years experience in facilities, and you'll be working very closely with the other areas of the business. Kajal is the person that you need to speak to here at P2P in Sydney. Her number is on the bottom of the screen, 0491 757 793, or you can just click the link in the comments and you can apply right now. Now, if you're sitting on a bus, can you apply for recruitment specialist in Docklands, or HR administrator here in Macquarie Park, or the facilities and building manager in Parramatta? Well, if you're sitting on a bus and you're thinking, well, how do I apply? I don't have my CV. You can use a video. You can just hit the apply button in the comments, go straight to Vply and apply with the video. And you don't have to, if you don't have time to send a CV, or if you're in an uncomfortable situation, or maybe it's a very comfortable situation on the bus right now. So that's it. Now we got to talk about retention strategies with Vinnie Yeoh in Melbourne. But to get us there, we've got a quick video from our legal team in Sydney. So let's roll that one, please, Jacob.
Hi there, I'm Katarina and I work in our legal support team here at People to People in our Sydney office. I'm on the hunt for experienced legal secretaries to join a fantastic national law firm that is situated in the heart of the Sydney CBD. This firm have a large emphasis on culture and values combined with innovative commercial savviness to deliver rewarding outcomes to their clients. As there are multiple opportunities available working across different practice groups such as government, commercial litigation, property, corporate and employment law, your duty as a legal secretary will consist of, but are not limited to, assisting with preparation of court documents, drafting correspondence, file, matter and email management, time entry and monthly billing, and general administrative tasks. To be considered for this opportunity, you must have experience in a similar role, excellent attention to detail and accuracy. On top of that, organisational skills and the ability to manage and prioritise multiple tasks, excellent client service as well. If this position or practice group are of interest to you or anyone that you know, please apply using the link below or contact me for a confidential discussion. Thanks for watching and I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Well, in this market right now, it's a hot market, and retention of staff is very important. So we thought we'd get in touch with Vinnie Yeoh from our Melbourne team, who wrote a fantastic article or blog post on this a couple of months ago, and explore the topic again. Hi, Vinnie, how are you?
Hi, Mark. Good, thank you. How are you? It's good to be here. And welcome to those who are tuning in today as well. I think we are all aware just how competitive the market still is currently. The movement in the market inevitably leads to employee turnover, which could bring some problems to an organization, of course. So how do employers be one step ahead and retain their top talent? I think firstly, promoting from within is a big one, and it also comes with a lot of advantages. So for example, progression and career development is important. Everyone wants to grow and be constantly moving upwards and learning new skills. So why not give the opportunity to someone who already knows the business, the people, the processes, and share the same core values of the organization? I think they would really, adapt quicker than someone externally, and will probably likely have a solid network of collegiate relationships to leverage on as well. And this also saves the organization time and cost in recruiting and training a new person. Other than that, I think earning the trust of employees and fostering a culture of respect is also important. The key to building trust and respect is to build a culture around emphasizing open and honest communication. This means building personal connections with employees and getting to know who they are and what they enjoy outside of work. So when employees trust the people in top management, I think their performance increases. Employees willingly commit and dedicate their hard work to a leader that they believe in. Lastly, I think making our employees feel valued and heard is also an important one. So one strategy is to involve employees in their contribution to the decision-making process. This helps them feel valued and helps them feel like they are part of something larger than themselves. So, encouraging employees to provide feedback on how the organization can improve, and accepting this feedback further fosters that open communication and trust. It demonstrates that the organization has everyone's best interest in mind and is committed to continual improvement. I know that many companies have also taken initiative in the last year when it comes to inclusion, diversity, leadership and development, and it has shown improvement in performance and employee loyalty as well. So yeah, I hope you find this helpful, and that's all from me.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Vinnie. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask. So, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but how is the market down there?
Yeah, it's good. It's hot as you mentioned. I do find consistent findings as what you mentioned before. How job seekers aren't taking as much risk at the moment with conversations around inflation and things like that, job stability. So when they are looking for probably a 10-20K increase from their salary. And yeah, this is why I guess as I mentioned in my first point, promoting from within is probably a good strategy to look at moving forward.
Now, if somebody wanted to have a chat to you, how's the best way to get into? If they want to talk about retention, or if they're in the market or looking to hire somebody, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, of course, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Vinnie Yeoh, and also you can call me on my number 0481 767 105.
Great, fantastic. All right, well, great to see you, and I can see. Jacob, can you pop the link to Vinnie's blog post in the comments there, so that if anybody wants to check that out too, they can, and also they'll get quick access to Vinnie's details as well. Thanks again, Vinnie. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Great.
Thanks.
Okay, so the last thing that we need to talk about today is the results of last week's Twitter poll. And this was about headhunting. So do you think it's acceptable to headhunt staff in this current market? Well, we had about just under, I think, around 300 people vote in last week's poll. And about 75% of them said, yeah, absolutely. Let's get on the phones. Let's get in touch with people, because that finds the best talent. Interestingly, though, nearly 9% or just over said, no, it's unfair, that it's not an appropriate way to go. Whereas a couple of percentage points there were 12% anyway. It depends, really depends on the situation. So basically, it's a free-for-all. Headhunting is acceptable in the Australian jobs market. So we thought this week we would ask a different question around retention, because just as Vinnie has been talking about retaining staff in a talent short market. So we thought we'd ask, what's your organisation been doing? So has your organisation improved their retention strategy in 2022? Yes, they're innovating. some of the stuff that Vinnie was talking about. Yes, we're just keeping up though. No, we're downsizing actually, and not yet. We're planning to do something about retention. So jump on to Twitter at People2People or on our LinkedIn and click the link, and you can vote and have your say, and we'll have the results next week. That's it, everybody. Thank you again for joining us on a Friday for P2P Live. We'll do it all again next Friday at 12:30. We'll see you then.